We're coming to you from the furthest reaches of a galaxy far, far away. Welcome to the Outer Rim Podcast, a show from a dad and daughter duo that's looking to explore the characters, lore, and stories from our beloved Star Wars. I'm Matt, here with Madeline, and today we're drafting the very best Darth Maul moments in the entire canon. Help grow our show by following us on Apple and Spotify, subscribing on YouTube, and finding us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and Twitter. We're glad you've joined us, and as always, may the Force be with you. Madeline, how are you today?
Doing pretty good. I'm very excited that we are in the last full week of school.
Woo, you can feel it. I don't know if people out there, we'll have to ask our listeners to write in and tell us, like, if you are not, I happen to be a teacher, she happens to be a freshman in high school, so we're obviously connected to school on a daily basis, but if you are not connected to school on a daily basis, do you still feel that, like, school rhythm time of year? Because everybody dead this time of year, so listeners, we need you to write in and tell us, connect with us on social media and tell us, what do you think, Madeline? Do you think everybody in the whole world is just in tune with the school rhythm, or do you lose it at some point?
I don't really know.
You're not old enough to be away from the school routine, although at this point in your life, you seem to be that you're going to stick in the school routine as a teacher. So we'll just see how that works out. More info coming soon on that. So we're in between Maul, Shadow Lord, which we both loved, and we are looking forward to and headed towards the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. And so we just couldn't quite get the Darth Maul out of our system. And so we decided today we are going to draft the 10 best Darth Maul moments of his existence in the canon. So Madeline is going to end up with 5. I'm going to end up with 5. We're going to rotate back and forth. I'm just going to be a gentleman, a father, a good dude, and let her have the first pick. But listeners, before we do that, I think that Madeline and I, we probably need to talk about the Mandalorian and Grogu movie coming. I think we'll do a full prep episode last week. So just broad terms, Madeline, what are you either excited or not excited about as far as Mando and Grogu coming out pretty soon?
I mean, I'm just excited overall that there's going to be a new Star Wars movie because we haven't had one in 7 years or so.
The last one did not go well, was not well received, so hopefully this one is better received by the fandom than the last one. So
Let's hope so.
you just want to get in the movie theater, hear the Star Wars theme song, do the stuff, see people using the Force. You're ready for that.
Yeah.
I'm hoping, as far as the Mandalorian and Grogu movie, I'm hoping that the creators of this show can kind of get back to what made us fall in love with those two in the first place, which is just like basically a dad and his kid, his 50-year-old kid, having like adventures and going on adventures and stuff. And I felt like that season 3 of The Mandalorian, it got a little too far into the Mandalore stuff. And I think that's a super interesting culture, and that's going to come up today. And I know Dave Filoni is really interested in the Mandalore stuff. But I feel like it just kind of turned into a different show, and they need to return it to its roots of what are Grogu and Mando, Grogu and Mando up to. Is there anything else that you're looking forward to, or something you're not looking forward to?
I noticed in the trailer that Zeb from Rebels is going to be in it, and I'm very excited about that because me and my sister really like Rebels. So I'm kind of hoping we get the whole Ghost fam in there. That would be...
Is Zeb your favorite bro from Rebels?
No.
No. That would be Sabine, obviously. Yeah. But you do like some Zeb Aurelius.
I do.
Yeah. I do too. Yeah, for sure. Okay, let me give you something I'm not looking forward to, because I'm not sure if they're going to hit a home run with this movie or not. I'm a little worried about what they're going to do with Grogu. He is such an adorable, cute little 50-year-old toddler. And I just need him to toddle around. I need him to do baby things. And I think they're going to have him grow. Like at some point, Grogu is going to talk. And I don't know if I'm ready for Grogu to talk. Like, I kind of like Grogu the way he is. And the fact that he's whatever the Yoda species is that we don't even know. The fact that he's that species would let them kind of keep him in this for quite a while, but I'm afraid they're going to start like expanding the Grogu lore, and do you want Grogu to talk?
Not really. I kind of want him to just stay a baby. Yeah.
Yes, you just want the cute babbles. You want him to try to eat that frog lady's children in the egg and like wipe out that entire species.
Yes, I
that's the Grogu we want and need.
Can we also talk about how ugly that name is? It's just...
Oh, they whiffed?
They whiffed so hard. Grogu is such an ugly name. Like every time
on the
I
spot,
say it,
what would you do?
I don't know, but like I just cringe inside every time I hear it, and I'm like,
So you just prefer Baby Yoda? We'll
Yeah.
just keep it at that.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe that's the official stance of this podcast then. We'll just refer to him as Baby Yoda. I don't think we
Yeah.
can do that, though. I think we have to use Grogu.
Yeah, I know. It's just like,
But we refer to him as Mando and not Din Djarin.
yeah, that's true.
So you
But
could get away
like,
from, get away
just
with
this
it.
tiny little baby doesn't fit the name Grogu. It's like a baby being named like
But Ahsoka
Fred.
figured out that was his name.
I know,
Oh,
but it's like,
shots at all the Freds out there that are
I'm
listening, by the
sorry,
way.
I'm sorry. The Freds, we love the Freds, but like, it's just like sounds like an old name for a baby, you know?
He's 50. He's older than me.
I know, but in that species, he's technically still a baby
Life skill stuff.
because
life
Yoda
skill
was
stuff.
900 when he died.
Life skill stuff. All right. Well, Madeline, let's turn our attention to Maul. Like I said, we just can't quit the Maul. Like we can't quite get him out of our system.
We love Maul around these parts.
We do. This is a pro Maul podcast, not a pro dark side podcast, but a pro Maul podcast. With you on it though, it might be a pro dark side podcast. I don't know. Just listeners, look at her background. She is just inhabiting the dark side of the Force.
I am just in a black abyss right now, and it's great.
Yeah. So we started looking through. This is going to come from Clone Wars. This is going to come from Rebels. This is going to come from Shadow Lord. This is going to come from. Oh my gosh! What's the first? Yeah.
Phantom Menace?
What's episode 1 called? Yeah. Thank you. The Phantom Menace. Thank you. Wow. This is going to come from all of those places and things. We'll try to identify kind of the moment and what it is as we go through. But like I said, I think that you should get the first pick. So. Madeline, in your estimation, there's a lot of pressure right here. In your estimation, what is the absolute very best Darth Maul moment we have ever seen?
Well, personally, I think the very best scene is the Maul and Ahsoka fight on Mandalore right before Order 66. It is.
Okay. Tell us more about that.
It's just like...
Sell me on it.
It's just like... The animation for it is so good, and it's just like one of the best scenes ever. It's so beautifully done, and it was honestly a very unexpected fight. Like, you didn't go into Clone Wars Season 7 thinking, yeah, I think Ahsoka and Maul are gonna have a duel. Like, you wouldn't expect that. And also, it had me very hyped as a kid whenever I was watching it the first time, so...
Well, I think anytime you bring Ahsoka into anything like that is just immediately. I don't know a Star Wars fan that doesn't like Ahsoka.
Yeah.
Except if you don't like the animated stuff. And honestly, if you're out there and you're a Star Wars fan and you haven't consumed the animated stuff, you're missing some of the best Star Wars that there is. So you're right. It was a thrilling saber duel. I had this at number 7 on my list, by the way. But you did a pretty good job of saying why this matters. But what's interesting to me the most about that duel is, okay, Ahsoka's in the Jedi Order in that duel, but what we're looking at is two Force users who are going to exist outside of the Sith, because I don't think you can call Maul a Sith anymore because he's not in with Palpatine. And of course, Ahsoka is going to very controversially leave the Jedi Order. So I like it for the fact, too, that it's like these are Force users that are not constricted by the two sides of what's going on.
Yeah.
Obviously, Ahsoka was in the Jedi at the time, but I just think that's interesting, too.
She wasn't actually in the Jedi at the time.
Oh, had she already left?
Mm-hmm. She left at the end of season 5, I believe.
Season 5. You're right.
See,
okay.
I would know that because I've watched the show like 12
you
times.
have seen it like 9,000 times. Apologies for my error. So that even speaks more to my point then. These are two Force users who are not constricted by the Jedi or the Sith. Now, I think you can still argue they're kind of light side, dark side. Like Ahsoka is still good and Maul is still evil, but they don't fit neatly into those categories. So I think that's interesting. Okay, well, thank you very much for opening up the draft board for me and taking something that was so low off of my list. Although, look, these are our lists. This is how you feel. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so I like it. Okay. In my opinion, my first pick is going to be, maybe this is just too boring, but I think it's so good, the Duel of the Fates. It is Maul versus Obi-Wan and his master Qui-Gon Jinn. How about this? How about that duel starts and Maul just kicks out the double-bladed lightsaber, and that is the first double-bladed lightsaber we have ever seen in the history of Star Wars. So before I try to sell this moment more, there's the score underneath it, all the stuff, right? What's your favorite lightsaber in Star Wars and in the fandom.
Like my favorite type of lightsaber, or
Yeah.
just like,
You know,
ooh,
there are the base level types. There's the blue ones, there's the red ones, and with the shaft and the blade. But that recently Star Wars has like kind of mixed it up as far as like there's the Kylo Ren. It's got the little
yeah.
guards coming out. So what's your favorite style type?
I kind of just like the standard, just regular lightsaber. Like,
Do you like that Mace Windu got a purple lightsaber because the actor just demanded to be able to see himself on screen?
I do think that's a little bit funny, and it's kind of iconic, honestly.
What a power move, honestly.
Yeah,
Samuel
yeah,
L. Jackson's like, hey, I want to be able to know where I'm at. What a complete power
yeah.
move. Okay, this is maybe gonna not surprise you. I'm a fan of like Rey's yellow lightsaber.
Eh.
I just like that it's a different color. You see a lot of green, you see a lot of blue, you obviously see a lot of red. And I just like that she's got her own thing coming, but I also do like that they did the little hilt design on the Kylo Ren sword.
Yeah,
I think that's
yeah,
really cool. And he's that like cracked kyber crystal he's got in there kind of pulses, like it's not like a normal blade sound. So I like that they did that. I think that's kind of cool.
yeah.
Okay, so double-bladed lightsaber, and everybody was like, whoa, all that stuff. Here's what else I like. I like the tension of the red ray shield coming in front to where Qui-Gon and Maul can't fight, and then Obi-Wan's in the back, trying to catch up to what is going on. And then obviously what ends up with this fight is Qui-Gon takes a gut shot that, by the way, millions of other Star Wars characters have been fine when they've had a lightsaber through the gut, but poor
Yeah.
Qui-Gon couldn't make it.
That's funny because actually I saw a post the other day that said, I can only imagine Qui-Gon looking down from like Force Heaven or whatever, seeing all the other Star Wars characters surviving getting hit by a lightsaber.
Well, let me tell you another one who survived. Darth Maul was cut in half.
Mm-hmm.
Cut in half by Obi-Wan. Fine.
How?
Falls down the shaft. He's totally fine. Qui-Gon
Yeah.
gets gut shot, and he's goner.
He's
Must have just been the right place at the right time, or the wrong place at the wrong time, maybe. But to me, like the music is cool. The saber duel itself is cool, even though it's live action. Like they did a really good job with that, and
Yeah.
that's the first like big saber fight we've seen in almost 20 years. And with apologies to the original trilogy, which are obviously legendary, the lightsaber fighting in those movies is not all that great, just from a choreograph standpoint. So anyway, I think that's the genesis of Maul. I think that starts his story with us, and so I picked that as my number one moment. Okay, so the Ahsoka duel on the Siege of Mandalore is off the board. The Duel of Fates is off the board. Madeline, you are up for your second pick.
Well, obviously we have to go with the Philosophical Tea Party. It's just it's so good. It's so good. There's some really good like quotes and philosophy moments in that, and you kind of learn that Maul is just kind of like a very intelligent and just like smart person for being a Sith Lord, which not calling the Sith Lord stupid. Please don't come after me. But he's just like a really intelligent person. I think that just adds a lot to his character, and I just really like that scene overall.
Yeah, I do think that that's a key. That is one of the things that makes Maul an interesting character. And I know you don't like this guy as much, but it just reminds me of him, is the Thrawn of it all. Like, it's not just a pure evil, but it's like a thoughtful, like, there are parts when Maul's doing the softer side of him, the philosophical side of him, the Tea Party side of him, where you're like, this guy is likable. He is not just rage and anger and all that kind of stuff. There's a calculation to him. I also just love like I think it's okay to call it this because to me this is where they pulled this from. Kind of the Asian overtones of the Tea Party, just kind of taking something that's culturally different than what U.S. Star Wars fans are used to, and kind of like layering in that outside culture on top of that. I think is also really interesting. So I love that pick. It was also down my draft board. It was number 6. So just for everybody at home, Madeline has picked number 6 and number 7.
6, 7.
On my draft board. Yeah, 6, 7. What a terrible thing that is. Okay. Anything else you want to say about the Tea Party? What kind of tea do you think it was? What was the flavor?
He said it. I thought it was some fancy name, but I mean, I think it's just like
Maul's like,
just tea.
I got some Lipton iced tea for you.
Wouldn't that be funny if he actually said that?
That is hilarious.
What'd you get for some Lipton iced tea? Everybody else would be like, what? What do you mean?
Devin's like, Lipton. I prefer green tea, sir. You know, there's just, yeah, good stuff.
That would have been great.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Okay. My second pick. You know, I think I'm just going to take it full circle from my list. I picked the Duel of the Fates first. I think I'm just going to choose the Obi-Wan fight in Rebels as the full circle moment. And I need to say something that I thought was just downright hilarious before I go into why I think this is a really good moment. I think it's hilarious that they did old animated Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
It's just so funny. I know that we've seen that before, but when you go back like on YouTube and watch that clip, you're like, oh my gosh, they didn't do the young, bearded, handsome Obi-Wan. They did the like, and also, I don't know what's going on in Tatooine, but like the actor switch where they go from the young Obi-Wan to the old Obi-Wan, but it's only like 10 years difference, and the man ages like 55 years. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, that part
so
just.
much.
He's
like,
really been through
he
the
lost
ringer
his
out there.
Padawan, watched his Padawan turn to the dark side. That just really aged him.
Yeah, I had to take care of Luke, the dang sand people.
Yeah.
It was rough.
I mean,
I think the UV on Tatooine's got to be at least 15 or 16.
Oh,
like
yeah.
it cannot be healthy for
yeah.
your skin. It's
all
not a
that
good
sand would
situation.
you just immediately age 50 years.
Exactly.
All the UV plus the sand,
Exactly.
you're a goner.
I hate sand. It gets everywhere.
Oh,
Okay,
boy.
so from the Duel of Fates off the beginning, you've got Maul obviously carrying this grudge with Obi-Wan, and he carries that with him the rest of the time that he is alive. And here it is. He shows up. He's old. Obi-Wan's old. He's diminished. Obi-Wan's diminished. But Obi-Wan ends up just slicing him up, and that's it. So to me, this is another defining character trait of Maul, is not just that he's angry and wants revenge, but that consumes him to the point that it is the thing that destroys him.
Yeah.
And that is the sad part of Maul. Maul didn't necessarily have to be this way, and maybe we'll draft some of these other moments that kind of fill in some of those lore gaps for us. He didn't have to be that way, but it hounded him, and that's all he pursued, and that's ultimately what destroyed him. And so that kind of makes him a sad character at the same time.
Yeah. He, pretty much got what he had coming for him, but I'm glad he at least went out somewhat peacefully. Because, after everything he's been through, at least he just, got to just, die peacefully.
And Obi-Wan's blade.
It's okay. That's not the point.
He's out there buried in Tatooine somewhere. What a guy.
That is a terrible place to be buried.
Okay, listeners. Madeline picked Siege of Mandalore. I went with the Duel of Fates. Madeline picked the Devon Tea Party. I picked the Obi-Wan fight in Rebels. Madeline, you're up to your third pick.
Obviously, we have to go with Maul's PTSD sesh.
Okay. That is what I was going to take next. Go ahead, explain why.
It's so just beautifully done. It really got me attached to Maul. Like, whenever I get attached to a character, I get attached to a character, and if they die, I'll just be like, oh, okay. So it's a good thing that I know Maul isn't gonna die until a lot later.
I just drafted when he dies, so you're safe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were actually, me and my sister were watching this scene yesterday because we haven't yet finished the show. We were watching this scene yesterday. I was like, you need, just stop what you're doing and watch it. Just watch it. I was like, realized, I was like, he was literally just a baby when he got taken away from his family. Like, he was like little. It's like, oh, he was just a baby.
Well, that's a key point to Maul, because in some ways it's kind of the mirror opposite of what the Jedi do. The Jedi take the children very young, so there's that whole attachment thing, and obviously they kind of bent the rules for Anakin because he was midichlorian Jesus, and it bit them in the butt when Annie went to the dark side. But Maul, you're right, and we get that lore drop of and we don't know exactly what went on, but it's clear Palpatine took Maul.
Yeah.
And it didn't necessarily seem like it was what Maul wanted. And so here you have this boy who is Force sensitive, who just ran into the worst possible mentor he could have possibly run into.
Yeah.
And it twisted him. And so that interaction with Palpatine is the thing that made him evil.
Yeah.
And again, that's why it's sad. That's not necessarily something that Maul chose for himself. And it brings to mind when Maul was talking to Devin about indoctrination by the Jedi, I was thinking, well, you were indoctrinated by Palpatine in the same way. And so, like, Maul, why can't you break out of this stuff? Why can't you set some of those things down? Because ultimately, like I just drafted, it's what destroyed him. And it is really sad.
Yeah, it is very sad. It's a very sad
It is.
scene. You're just sitting
It
there
is a
like,
very sad scene.
oh, well, at least I was. I was just like, he's just a baby. Let him go, please.
Well, this is why the best types of bad guys, though, are sympathetic to some extent.
Yeah.
And we can all see it. Maul's doing bad stuff. We'll probably draft some of the bad things that Maul does. Nobody agrees. Well, nobody in their right mind agrees with the bad stuff, but you can still see like what Maul could have been. What if Maul had been discovered by Yoda instead of Palpatine? This is just a completely different situation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So for my third pick, I am going to select his discovery in the trash bin with the spider legs by his brother, Savage Opress. Number one, the animation style does a wonderful job of communicating the state that Maul is in, which is basically a complete wild man.
Yep.
Because he's got the spider legs. He has like whatever the horn growths that his species has, they are so much longer, which then makes me wonder, like, I guess they are shaving those things down. It's like getting a haircut kind of.
Probably,
it's like,
yeah.
It's like bone growing out of their head. So this is a person whose mind is broken, whose body is broken, and it brings to mind one of those themes that we talked about with Maul so much is survival. And so when Maul is talking about like, Devin, you don't just have to survive, you can grab power. This is what brought Maul back because Maul was in complete survival mode and frankly was not doing very well. Like the legs and the horns, like just he was not looking super healthy. And yet he survived. And obviously then there's the beginning of his relationship with his brother, Savage Opress, which is going to be extremely important all the way through the Clone Wars. And so I just think that is like a really important set moment in the trajectory of Maul. And so I'm going to draft it here third.
As you should.
As I should. Okay, so we got 2 picks left. Madeline, I think it is time to remind our listeners to subscribe to us on Apple and Spotify podcasts and on YouTube if you're watching there. That will help us to grow our show. If you can take a second and rate us, obviously hit us with the 5 stars. That will help other people to discover our show, and we'd appreciate that so much. Okay, Madeline, we each have 2 picks left. 3 picks each are off the board. You're on your 4th pick. What are you taking?
Well, actually, I found it kind of ironic that I'm picking what I'm picking next because you just said we might pick some of the bad things he's done. So with that being said, number 4 I have is Maul killing Duchess Satine in front of Obi-Wan.
This is a great okay, let me rephrase that.
Okay.
This is a terrible moment and should be drafted.
Yep.
Go ahead and say more about our Duchess.
It was such a brutal scene. Like, the look on Obi-Wan's face after he just realized that Satine, she's not coming back from that. It had me absolutely gagged whenever I first watched it. I was like, whoa.
Because you were shipping Obi-Wan and Satine hardcore.
Oh, I think everyone was.
Yeah.
They needed to be together, and I wanted them to be together. Then she just got like brutally murdered, and I was like, oh my lord. So yeah, it's just
this is Maul gone bad, right?
Yeah.
This is like, we feel sympathetic for him. We are sorry that he basically became a child soldier under Palpatine. All of that is bad, but then when you turn around and you let that revenge have you murder, like, this is an unforgivable thing.
Yeah.
And so this ultimately, Maul is evil, even if he is a sympathetic kind of evil, and you can't I think the only thing he could have maybe done worse than this in Clone Wars was kill Ahsoka.
Yeah.
You know, and these are just like unforgivable things, or like slice R2-D2 in half or something, you know, like these are just unforgivable things that you did. Now, let me try to sell this to you. Did Maul save Obi-Wan? Because Obi-Wan was developing an attachment as a Jedi that he should not have had.
He already kind of had an attachment to her because
I know.
Yeah. A little bit earlier, like a couple seasons before that, they were talking about how Obi-Wan was on Mandalore with Qui-Gon, and they were doing all this stuff, and that's when Obi-Wan and the Duchess fell in love. So
Obi-Wan saw the Duchess and said, "Hello there."
At least
So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So Maul eliminated the Duchess, therefore eliminating that connection, therefore saving Obi-Wan his ability to still be a Jedi. Did I sell you on it? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Maul did Obi-Wan a favor by killing Duchess Satine.
Sounds really bad, but yeah.
Oh.
At least Obi-Wan treated that attachment to Satine a lot better than Anakin did with his attachment to Padme.
Well, listen, the way that Anakin treated his attachment to Padme deserves to be investigated for at least a misdemeanor, if not a felony. Like, the dude was just weird about Padme, and they really portrayed it in a way.
Like,
it does not make you feel good about their relationship. You were just like, somebody put Anakin in handcuffs.
He is so much younger than she is, and he just outright says, "You look the same as you do in my dreams." It's like, Obi-Wan, you come get a hold of your Padawan, please. What is happening here?
Yes.
What is going on?
So we now have drafted some irredeemable acts that Maul did. Can't take those back. Can't get forgiveness for that. Like, that is too far. Okay. With my fourth pick, shoot, I've got two things I really want to pick bad. So I'm gonna hope that you don't take one of them. Okay, I am going to do the Vader duel in Shadow Lord. And this is our third Shadow Lord moment from the series. And Maul gets a fair amount of screen time in Clone Wars, and he gets a fair amount of screen time in Rebels, and obviously he's in the Phantom Menace. But it's striking that now we've got three things from the Maul Shadow Lord, and so they really did a nice job. Now, granted, that is about Maul, but I really appreciated the fact that once again we've got Red Saber on Red Saber, and Maul is in this diminished state. He is not as strong as he once would have been, and Vader is as strong as anybody has ever been in the Force. And so you kind of see Maul on his back foot. Maul is almost always on his front foot, attacking, manipulating, that kind of stuff. So it's just really interesting to watch him during this battle be on his back cybernetic foot and unable to attack in the way that he wants to.
Yeah.
But the whole time this battle is going on, he is still playing mind games and manipulating Devin. And so I think that's Maul to a T, right? He's always thinking, he's always manipulating, he's always scheming, he's always got a plan. And so, I thought it was awesome that we saw the Vader-Maul duel, but there's so much more to it than that because of what Maul is doing, beyond just the duel.
Yeah. That's funny because whenever me and my sister watched this scene yesterday, she turns around and looks at me and she's like, "All right, bro, there's no way. There's
no way what?
There's no way that they brought in Vader." Yeah.
Oh, she didn't like it?
Well, I don't think so.
Okay. Headed into our last picks. Let's recap for the listeners. And I did not write numbers on these, so I'm going to hope that I remember this right. You picked the Ahsoka duel at the Siege of Mandalore right off the top. I went over and picked the Duel of Fates. You picked the Devon Tea Party. I picked the Obi-Wan fight in Rebels. You picked, did you pick third the killing of Satine? Or no, you picked the mental breakdown in the Shadow Lord third. I picked the discovery of Savage Opress. Or by Savage Opress, excuse me. You picked Satine. I picked the Vader duel. So we each have one pick left. Shoot, and there are two things I want to pick really bad. So let's see if you take one of them. Go ahead. What's your last pick?
Okay, well, I'm skipping ahead a little bit on my list because I really, really wanted to do this one. I'm going to take Maul and Ezra talking on Malachor after Ezra got separated from Kanan. I mean, you can see in this scene that he's still the same manipulating and scheming person that he is even after what went down on Mandalore. It's a very tense scene. You can just feel the tension in the air as you're is Ezra actually going to go with him? What's going to happen here? And it's the first one of the first scenes of Maul after Clone Wars, so I just really like that they put him in there. It's just hey,
Malachor is such an interesting setting. Yeah. Hey, Maul. He's too cool to leave out. You know what I mean? He's such a deep and interesting character. Malachor is such an interesting setting for that too, because of all the things that go on there. So that's really good. And then you've got Maul's always after the young Jedi, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Devin, Ezra Bridger, Ahsoka. He's trying to recruit Ahsoka during the Siege of Mandalore. So that it's just all interesting for Maul. Okay, you did not pick one of the things that was on my list, and now I'm so torn. I'm so torn. Okay, I'm gonna pick for my last Maul moment. I'm just gonna follow my list. This is Darth Maul and Savage Opress versus Palpatine, and this is really like Maul facing his inner demons. Like you'll sometimes in real life, you'll do this little shake thing because you get cold and you're like, yeah, I just had to fight those demons off. This was Maul with his brother literally fighting the demon that made Maul who he was. And of course, Palpatine, first of all, we also get like to see animated Palpatine fight, and the dude is just a beast because
Yeah.
both Savage Opress and Maul kill approximately, I don't know, 700,000 people in the anime. Like they are just, especially Savage Opress is just wrecking people because he's a freight train.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Palpy is literally dueling them with two sabers and just cackling at them because they can't touch him. They can't, he knows. Naturally, he force pushes Darth Maul. He does the double lightsaber stab behind him, and Savage Opress is dead. And that just once again breaks Maul. And so he just starts groveling on the floor, asking Palpatine for mercy. And Palpatine gives him the unlimited power from the Force lightning. And you're just like, God, this is this guy's whole life.
Mm-hmm.
Palpatine ruined Maul's life, and here he is again, tearing his family apart, not having mercy on him. But why is it in the first place? Because Maul he is a dog with a bone. He just cannot let those things go. And it cost him again. It's going to cost him against Obi-Wan. It cost him against Palpatine. It just repeatedly costs him. But he's so messed up and broken that he has to do it.
Yep. And I really do like that scene. It's like, okay. I don't like it because of the scene. I just like the way it was done. It was very
The drama,
it was very sad.
Yeah. Okay, we've got time. Do you have one honorable mention? Something on your list that you were dying to take that you just go ahead.
I do actually. Okay, so I'm gonna take the Maul's hallway scene fighting the clones on the cruiser as it was like descending into like the snowy planet. It was such a terrifying scene, the way he was just walking down this hallway with a freaking wall panel shielding him, holding it up with the Force, like shielding him from like this group of clones, and he was just single-handedly taking them all down without a lightsaber and then pulling one of the clones back so his arm would get cut off by the door just so he could get the comm to hear where everybody was going. It was just such a ruthless and like brutal scene, and I felt very bad for those clones, but also they kind of deserved it because of Order 66.
Yeah, Maul's caught up in some really interesting Star Wars moments that they like truly do not know who to root for in the moment, and he just repeatedly does that in the canon. The honorable mention I want to make, and I'm actually kind of mad this didn't make my list, and people may not like this as much as I do, but I just find like the Mother Townsend stuff with Maul, the resurrection, I find that to be fascinating. I love some Dathomir, some Mother Townsend, the Night Sisters, all that kind of stuff. Because to me, like, I love the Jedi, I love the Sith, I love the politics of it, I love the clone army, like, I like all that stuff. But when you go to the other worlds and there are just different cultures and different things, I think this is the thing I like about Thrawn, because he has like this appreciation for all these different people. And I love the Dathomir stuff. The green kind of magic sort of thing that they have going is just different than the Force. And so the fact that Maul is from there and obviously is, tangled up with Mother Townsend, she gives him his better set of legs, and like kind of helps piece together and quote unquote heal his mind.
Yeah.
I just wanted to shout out like the Night Sisters and that connection because I've always loved that stuff. Do you like the Night Sisters?
Yeah. I mean, I do like it, but it's probably not my favorite, like, story inside Clone Wars. But I've always found it, like, interesting and cool, and also a little bit creepy whenever they...
Oh, it's definitely creepy.
Oh, yeah, whenever they revive all those dead Night Sisters to fight against Grievous, it's like, oh, okay. So,
we got to give it a little horror movie stuff. It just reminds me of, like, the Night Sisters remind me of, like, the father, the daughter, and the son.
Yeah.
That I like that kind of thing. And so I find that I mean, I guess it's all supernatural. The Force is all supernatural, or maybe the Force is natural. Whatever label you want to put on it, something besides the Force that's got power. I just find that interesting when they dump that into Star Wars. So I really like that. Okay, so listeners, we need you to go to our social medias. We need you to tell us who won this draft, Madeline's list or my list. And we're just excited to see it. Interesting. I'm just looking back real quick on my list. I was kind of duel heavy. So I hope people like duels. And you were sort of like heavier on the quiet moments or the conversations. Although you did have an Ahsoka duel in there. And you had Darth Maul just wrecking the clones in the hallway after Order 66. So
Yeah.
The bottom line, I think, for Maul, and then I'll let you say what you want to about Maul. I just think he's endlessly fascinating because he is so multifaceted. He's not a flat character. He's got sides to him. He's got shadow to him. He's got depth to him. And sometimes you root for him, and sometimes he does something unforgivable. And so I think they just really have created this unendingly interesting character. And I'm glad that he shows up in so many facets of Star Wars.
Yeah. I mean, that's like probably like the depth to his character is probably what makes me like him so much, because I really love a character that can pull off like all of the like loud fight moments and then also like the quiet moments. Like I just love a character that can pull off that, and Maul can like pull that off. So
He can. This is where I'm going to convince you that Thrawn is great. I'll keep working on it. Listeners, we know she warms up slow. It's going to be okay. That is going to bring this transmission to an end. Thanks for hanging out with us in the far reaches of the galaxy. If you enjoyed our take on the Shadow Lord and our draft of Darth Maul coverage, be sure to subscribe and join us for our next jump through hyperspace, where next week we will be previewing the Mandalorian and Grogu film. Until next time, keep your eyes on the horizon, and may the Force be with you.